This show is a tribute to the songwriter Moony Shapiro, whose hits include April in Wisconsin from the movie A Yank at the Vatican. I think you should be getting the idea by now that this show is a spoof. In any case, a bright cast of 5 playing a zillion different roles sings and dances Mooney's songs as they relive his career through 5 decades. An Irish orphan born in Liverpool, Michael Mooney came to New York, changed his name to Moony Shapiro because he thought a successful songwriter had to be Jewish, and then wrote songs over 50 years for everything from early Hollywood musicals to contemporary rock concerts. Mooney wasn't always successful. When Petula Clark was singing Downtown, Shapiro was writing a tune called Uptown. Aided by clever staging and solid orchestrations, the cast here sparkles, especially Jeff Goldblum, Judy Kaye, and Annie McGreevey. Goldblum is an immensely appealing string bean with gawky grace and a wry comic delivery who delightfully spoofs Fred Astaire and the French romantic singer. The Mrs. Kaye and McGreevey are rousing and funny as singing sisters in the 30s and in a goofy parody of a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Matter of fact, the performers are better than the material. The main problem with this show is that while the satire at times is dead on target, generally it is not as sharp or funny as it should be. And the show gets a bit muddled and sophomoric in dealing with the Nazi and McCarthy eras. Still, there is imagination and talent here, and more creativity in this little show than in the overblown and dull Woman of the Year. Come to think of it, you can count the number of quality musicals this barren Broadway season on 3 fingers. 42nd Street, which opened way back last August, Sophisticated Ladies, which is a straight song and dance show without a book, and The Pirates of Penzance, which does not qualify for the Tony Awards because it is a revival. Considering all of the above, and given its flaws, the Moony Shapiro Songbook is recommended. This is Stuart Klein.
The Moony Shapiro Songbook, a new musical with a very strange title that opened tonight. We'll be right back.
Now, never mind who Moony Shapiro is or isn't. In fact, he actually isn't, but we'll get to that in just a while. Let us first get to what the Moony Shapiro Songbook is. It is an adventurous, inventive, exuberant, one-of-a-kind show. Moony Shapiro's Songbook is the saga of one imaginary Liverpool Irish Catholic named Michael Mooney, abandoned and then adopted by a Mr. and Mrs. Shapiro of New York City. The musical chronicles his life as a songwriter from before World War I through that sound known as boogie woogie. Take her home to Mama, 'cause at last she will say yes. And it even goes on unto Bob Dylan, and beyond that to disco. It is an hilarious send-up of virtually every sort of pop song known to the ears of 20th century humankind, and a hard-edged look at how pop music capitalizes on our moods, fads, and disasters. The show features a superb quintet of performers who are a multitude of talent, high-class staging and choreography, wit, hilarity, and bite. It is not by any means the sound of music, but it is a highly entertaining, most sharp-eyed and eared view of the sound of our music. It is off the beaten track to be sure, but I'd advise you to get off the beaten track yourself and see it. Fortunately, it's at the Morosco Theater, which is on West 45th Street, and that's not off the beaten track. Tony.
Thank you, Dennis. Thanks for...
What separates the Moony Shapiro Songbook from other recent Broadway tributes to other songwriters like Side by Sondheim or You Be Your Sophisticated Ladies is that there isn't any Moony Shapiro, and there never was. It's a wonderful idea. Invent a songwriter, invent 50 years of his songs. Unfortunately, there's one other thing that separates the show from Side by Sondheim and You Be and Sophisticated Ladies. The Moony Shapiro Songbook isn't very good. He began his career, we learn, with a tune for the Feldman Follies of 1926. Clever, but the tune is just this side of a copyright infringement on a real song called Tenement Symphony. That's not parody, though many of the songs are, and many are quite good. You can only parody something everybody knows, and only maniacs remember the Tenement Symphony in 5 flats. Poor Moony Shapiro.
I've got a songbook in my hand, and now it's on the piano stand. I'll play a happy song from my songbook.
Many of the songs
are clever. One, a song Adolf Hitler might have sung to Jesse Owens called "You're a Nazi Party Pooper" is just terrific, as is Jeff Goldblum, whom I knew was a fine film actor. I was surprised to find he could sing and dance, and most of the time he looks like so is he. And terrific too is Judy Kaye, who is, as always, just plain fun to watch work. The guys who wrote this are good. Some nice one-liners, some nice words and music, but never enough. And except for the music, and there was a horn player in the pit band tonight who played so sweet. This production is really on the cheap. The set looks like the inside of a coal mine, and not a very well-decorated coal mine either. Like so many other reviews, this should have gone off Broadway or into a club. And in a way, it's nice there's no real Moony Shapiro. He'd be so disappointed.